Von Karma?
That's right. Manfred von Karma. He's the best prosecutor there is. He hasn't lost a case in his 40-year career. He is a god of prosecution, Wright. A god.
Not a single case?
He'll do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything.
Sounds like someone else I know, Edgeworth.
You don't understand. I mean, he'll really do anything. Manfred von Karma is a man to be feared.
That's quite a claim coming from someone who forges evidence.
He taught me what it really means to prosecute. Just picture a prosecutor as vicious as me, multiplied by a factor of 10.
So was he your teacher then, Mr. Edgeworth?
Something like that.
And now he's trying to get you found guilty? What a creep! Oh, wait. Maybe he's planning on losing on purpose to help you out.
Not a chance. He hasn't lost once in 40 years. 40 years! He's as ruthless as me, times 20.
That's pretty ruthless.
Like I said, he's a god among prosecutors.
I guess that's something like Mia was to me. Speaking of Mia, Maya,
Uh-huh.
we could really be using Mia's help right now, don't you think?
Oh.
Huh?
I can't. Sorry. I tried. I really tried. But I couldn't reach.
You couldn't reach?
I think it's because I haven't been training. My powers are weak again.
Oh man, what bad timing.
I'm really sorry. I'll try my best.
I hope so.
What are you whispering about?
It's nothing. Well, it's time. Let's head in.
The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. von Karma, is the prosecution ready?
Fool. You seriously think I would stand here? Were I not completely prepared?
Right. My apologies.
He's even got the judge scared.
Very well. Your opening statement, please.
Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required?
Nothing, of course. That should be fine. The prosecution may call its first witness.
What's with this guy? Is he royalty or something?
How am I supposed to fight against this?
I call the detective in charge of this case, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Okay, Gumshoe's first. Let's see how this goes.
Describe the incident, now.
Yes, sir! Please take a look at the map. The murder happened late Christmas Eve, around midnight. There was one boat in the very middle of the lake. There were two men on the boat. Now, there happened to be a woman camping here on the edge of the lake. At 12:10 a.m., she heard two pistol shots. Then, the boat started to move and went toward the boat rental shop.
Testify to the court about your arrest, now.
Wait, Mr. von Karma.
Yes.
Actually, I'm the one that's supposed to be handling these proceedings.
Wrong. There is only one thing you need to do here. You will slam down your gavel and say the word guilty. That is your rule.
Yes, of course. You're quite right.
No, he's not!
Anyway, a man called into the station around 30 minutes after midnight. We headed to the scene of the crime as fast as we could, and that's where we found Mr. Edgeworth. Now, I didn't suspect him of anything at all, but the next morning, a body was found in the lake. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth.
I see. Very well.
Begin your cross-examination, attorney. Now.
Detective, you say the police received a call from a man,
Yep.
but you said there was a woman camping there. She was the one who heard the 2 gunshots, right?
Objection! That woman and the man who called in the report are 2 different people. Obviously, there were 2 witnesses. Their testimonies were quite similar, however. So today, I've summoned the woman who was camping.
How long was it between receiving the report and your arrival at the lake?
Well, I'd say it was about 3 minutes.
That's pretty fast.
Our motto for the month is get there quick.
Objection! Detective, you will refrain from casually revealing department secrets.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Do that again and you'll be able to look forward to your next salary review.
So much to look forward to these days.
This is no time for daydreaming. Continue.
What was Mr. Edgeworth like when you saw him there?
Well, from what I saw, he looked pretty relaxed. Not like a moiterer at all, really.
Objection! Detective, the court requires the facts, not your opinion. How many years have you been on the force? Facts only, detective. Hard, cold, objective facts.
Yes, sir.
Man, he's got his share of objections. Why didn't you think Mr. Edgeworth was suspicious?
You should know. We have a deep trust and relationship with a prosecutor.
Objection! Detective, the court isn't interested in your musings. Deep, trusting, poppycock. I've never heard so many flippant comments from an active detective on the force.
Aw.
Detective Gumshoe doesn't look so good.
Continue. Now.
The next morning, the victim's body was found. Did you find any clues on the body?
A single bullet was recovered from the body. He was shot through the heart. Fatally.
Judge, here's the bullet. It didn't strike bone, so its shape is well preserved.
Very well. The court accepts this bullet into evidence.
Why did you have to arrest Miles Edgeworth after finding the body?
Well, we found the moiter weapon in the boat.
The murder weapon?
A pistol.
Detective Gumshoe, that is a vital piece of information. Please revise your testimony.
Right. Sorry, Your Honor. The moiter weapon we found in the boat was decisive evidence. So we had to arrest Mr. Edgeworth upon inspecting.
Hold it! What about the pistol made it decisive evidence? He has the same evil laugh as Edgeworth.
There were fingerprints on the pistol found in the boat. They were clear prints from Mr. Edgeworth's right hand.
What?
Order! Order! So, Mr. Edgeworth's fingerprints were found on the murder weapon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, this is the weapon in question.
Accept it into evidence.
Members of the court, we now have the pistol used in the murder and the bullet found in the body. Detective!
Yes, sir!
Was the bullet found in the body fired from this pistol?
Yes. The ballistic markings on the bullet matched the pistol.
Hey, Nick, what does he mean, ballistic markings?
Shocking. To imagine someone here does not know something as basic as ballistic markings.
Nick, he's glaring at me!
Very well. I'll explain. Actually, Judge, you do it.
Me? Ballistic markings are like the fingerprints of a gun. The barrel leaves distinctive marks on each bullet it fires. You can examine these ballistic fingerprints to see which gun fired the shot. It's quite accurate.
Indeed. This leads to one inevitable conclusion. The bullet found in the victim's heart was, without a doubt, fired from this pistol. This pistol, which, as you may recall, was covered with the defendant's own fingerprints.
Order! Order!
This is bad. It makes it look like Edgeworth did it.
Well, Judge?
I'd say it's almost decisive, yes. Honestly, I could declare a verdict at this point. However...
You wish to hear the witness speak, no doubt. Very well. I am somewhat fatigued, so I will take a brief break. I will call my witness after the recess, which will last 10 minutes. Judge!
Yes?
What are you doing? A 10-minute recess! Now!
But wait,
Just bring your flimsy gavel and get on with it, man!
Yes. This court will take a 10-minute recess.
Who's running this court anyway? Edgeworth, what's going on here? Your fingerprints were on the murder weapon! And that foggy photo makes one thing clear. The only one who could have shot that man was the person in the photo.
True.
Was that you in the boat?
Yes, it was me, but you must believe me. I didn't shoot him.
Then who did?
I don't know.
You don't know? Weren't you right there?
I had a gunshot from very close by, and then the other man fell from the boat. I can't say why, but at the time I thought he had shot himself.
You mean it was a suicide?
That's the only explanation I can come up with.
How am I going to convince anyone of that? Say, Maya,
Huh? What?
any progress with Mia?
Oh, sorry. It's no good. I know. I'm no good for anything, am I, Nick? If I can't call my sister, I might as well not be here, right?
No, of course not. I need you here. I can see you're always trying to help out, even if you don't actually help. It's the thought that counts, right?
It's okay, Nick. You don't have to make me feel better. I don't know anything about trials or defense. What's more, I'm a spirit medium who can't even contact spirits.
Oh, everyone has their off days. I mean, I've just been getting lucky lately. But you never know when my luck is going to run out.
Really?
Whoa, right. Don't jinx this case any worse than it already is. It's bad for my heart.
Sorry. Whoops.
Court is back in session. Mr. von Karma, call your witness.
Yes. Will Miss Lotta Hart take the stand? Lotta Hart, you are a research student at the university.
That I am.
Good. Begin by telling us what you saw the night of the incident, and don't add anything trivial or subjective. Understand?
Y'all need to learn some manners.
Understand?
Yeah. I understand.
Very well. Your testimony, please.
It was Christmas Eve, just after midnight, I reckon. I was in my car when I heard this bang come up from the lake. When I looked out the window, I saw two gents in a boat. Then there was another bang. But there wasn't nary a thing on the lake but that boat.
Enough!
Huh?
Judge! She happened to take a photo of the incident. This is that photo. Accept it as evidence.
Well, this is a surprise. This looks like the very moment of the murder. Order! I will remove you from the court if you do not have order immediately.
As the witness testified, she looked at the lake when she heard the shot. There were no other boats on that lake. So, the man in the boat with the victim must have been the one who shot him. Yes, it was the defendant, Miles Edgeworth.
Order! I will have order!
Well, Judge?
The evidence is decisive. I have very little doubt about this case. Very well. The court finds the defendant...
Objection! Wait, Your Honor! I haven't cross-examined the witness yet!
Cross-examination? We have photographic proof! What question can there possibly be? This photo is worth 1,000 words, and they all read guilty. You lose. Or do you claim to have found a contradiction in her testimony? Very well. If you have to, you may cross-examine the witness. You will only flounder and ask meaningless questions. You will fail to find anything, and then I will have you held in contempt of court.
Nick? Contempt?
Contempt of court? You know.
I guess I understand. Well, what are you going to do? Do you really think there was a contradiction with the facts in her testimony?
I think I noticed one little thing.
Wow. I'm impressed, Nick. I didn't notice anything. Right, let's take him on.
Yeah. I got a bad feeling about this. I understand. I will cross-examine the witness.
Very well.
I pray for your sake this isn't a waste of time.
It was just after midnight, you say. In other words, it was no longer Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day.
Huh? Yeah, well, yes.
Objection! I know you want to find contradictions, but really?
I hope your next contradiction is a little more relevant to the trial.
Oops. Why were you camping there anyway?
I'm a research student at my university. I was taking pictures to use in my research.
What research? This all sounds suspicious. Miss Hart, could you be more specific about your research?
Objection! What does the witness's motive in camping by the lake have to do with this case? The answer is nothing. I object to this line of questioning. Objection sustained.
Wait now, I'm the one who says that.
Well, then say it already.
Objection sustained.
Thanks for nothing, Your Honor. Could you clearly see the two men you saw in the boat?
Just look at the picture. Clear enough for you?
I wasn't asking you about the photo. I was asking if you saw the two men.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Objection! The witness has testified that she saw them. There's also a photo. You best look elsewhere for your precious contradictions.
He jumped in quick. He's hiding something. Were you watching them the very moment the shot rang out?
Well, yeah, sure.
Objection! You're asking meaningless questions. Meaningless. Contradictions, Mr. Wright, not meaningless babble.
Von Karma, I think I hate you. He's trying to keep me from talking to the witness. But to what end? How come you're so sure there was nothing else out on the lake?
Well, heck, I scanned the whole lake.
Scanned the whole lake? It almost sounds like she was more interested in the lake than the boat. Miss Hart, were you really looking at—
Objection! Mr. Wright, the witness has answered the question in full.
Ugh!
No need for further questions. Objection sustained.
That's when
Sustained!
Yes, of course.
Oh, right! What am I supposed to do now?
Enough! I think we've heard all we need to hear, Mr. Wright. It seems you're unable to find a contradiction in the testimony worth noting.
But, Your Honor!
You keep your promise.
Mr. Wright, I'm afraid that I will have to penalize any further outbursts by holding you in contempt of court.
And if that happens, you'll have to leave the courtroom immediately. Understood?
Nick! Lotta's testimony is fishy, Nick! Real fishy!
I know what you mean, but if I can't say anything, what can I do?
I believe we've covered the evidence sufficiently to make a decision.
Then pass your judgment!
Very well. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, please take the stand.
Hold it!
Who was that?
It was me.
Maya!
Is something wrong? Do you need to use the facilities?
No, I do not! Lotta Hart, your testimony stinks! It's unclear whether you were actually looking at the lake. It's highly doubtful that you actually saw Mr. Edgeworth. Tell us the truth! This is a matter of life or death! Lotta! Did you really clearly see Mr. Edgeworth that night? Did you see him fire that pistol?
You will stand down. The court does not acknowledge the defense's outburst.
Answer me, Lotta!
What's the big idea treating me like some kind of criminal? I saw him. I swear it. I saw Edgeworth.
Objection! Enough! Judge, declare the defense in contempt of court.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, but you were warned. Bailiff, escort Mr. Wright out of the courtroom. He is in contempt of court and must leave.
No! No!
Wait! I was the one who made the outburst, Your Honor! Nick is innocent!
What's the difference? All that remains is for the guilty verdict to be declared. Isn't that right, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Wrong!
What?
Did you hear what Miss Hart just said? She said she clearly saw Mr. Edgeworth. That was not in the testimony. That changes her testimony, and I have the right to cross-examine her again.
Order!
You're in contempt of court. It's too late for wild claims. Judge, sustain my objection.
I'm sorry, Mr. von Karma, but I cannot.
What?
Miss Lotta Hart has made a new testimony. The defense does have a right to cross-examine her again.
But he's in contempt of court!
No, I am! If you're going to arrest someone, arrest me!
Very well. Maya Fey, you will leave the courtroom immediately.
Nick, I did what I could. You have to do the rest. Good luck!
I care not for this melodrama. Listen well, Mr. Wright. I do not tolerate badgering of my witnesses.
I'm running out of time. I'd better expose a contradiction in this new testimony, or else.
Miss Hart, repeat the statement you just made for the court record. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness once her testimony is on record.
I saw it clear as day. The man on the boat was Mr. Edgeworth.
Objection! Got you! Got you, Miss Hart, finally!
What? You got what?
Look at this photograph.
The photo I took.
The very same. There's something I want you to see in this photo. It's quite clearly visible. The fog, Miss Hart.
So?
This picture was taken with professional, high-quality film, correct? Yet even it could not capture the faces of the men on the boat. Yet you claim you saw Mr. Edgeworth. How?
What?
Mr. Wright has a point.
Objection! That is why I told her not to say that in her testimony.
Yet, now she has said it, Mr. von Karma. How could you possibly see Mr. Edgeworth? Explain yourself.
Miss Hart, could you see the defendant that night?
Of course. I said I could and I meant I could. It was a cold night and the fog was thick as grits.
So, how could you see Edgeworth?
Now just hold your horses for a second. You hasty Yankee types would never find a gal where I'm from.
Defense attorneys have trouble with that as it is.
Nobody loves me.
Miss Hart, please testify as to the circumstances of your sighting.
Once I was finished setting up my camera, I got back in the car. Still, I brought my binoculars with me. When I heard that noise out on the lake, I looked with my binoculars. See? No problem.
Hold it! Binoculars? Really?
Yeah, binoculars.
Yesterday, you mentioned that you were out looking for shooting stars, correct?
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't you need a telescope, not binoculars for that? I've got doubts about your camera, too. Was that really to take pictures of meteor showers?
Objection! The camera is irrelevant to this case.
You can't say that for certain!
Mr. Wright, Is the camera really relevant to this case? If you believe it is, you may continue with this line of questioning.
This is make it or break it time. The camera is of utmost importance, Your Honor. It is perhaps the key to this entire case. Therefore, I will continue my line of questioning. Might have overstated the camera's overall importance, but right now, it's what's going to save this trial. Take another look at this photograph. This was taken on an automatic setting, was it not?
Yeah, that's right.
You have to point the camera upwards to take photos of the stars, Miss Hart. But as this photo clearly shows, the camera was pointed directly at the lake.
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at?
The witness was not at the lake to photograph shooting stars, Your Honor.
Well, then, what exactly was she photographing?
Your Honor, I believe this is what Miss Hart was trying to photograph.
What's this? A newspaper article? Gordy? Ah, the sighting at Gourd Lake.
Well, Miss Hart?
I never heard of no lake monster. You got proof or something? Let's see you prove that I was down at the lake trying to photograph this Gordy.
Well, I don't know that I have definitive proof.
Objection! Bah! Your ineptitude is entertaining, Mr. Wright. But enough is enough. I've had enough of baseless claims made without a hair of evidence to support them.
Objection! Well, all right, if that's how you want to play. I'll show you evidence.
Mr. Wright, are you sure about this?
I'm sure that I'm sick of that smarmy prosecutor putting me down. Absolutely.
Very well. Let's see it. And no joking around this time. Please, show us proof that the witness was trying to photograph Gordy, the lake monster.
I've only got one source of information on Gordy. It's going to have to do. The proof is in the previously presented article about Gordy, the lake monster. I better try to get more specific, though, or they'll see through my bluff real quick. Wait. There! That'll work! According to this article, when Gordy breaks through the water, it makes a loud noise. Which is why you set up your camera with that microphone. You had it set to respond to loud noises. And that's how you got this picture when the pistol fired.
Order! I see. I, too, thought that was a little strange.
Yeah, sure. Well, Miss Hart, you were camping there to try and take a photo of Gordy, weren't you?
Yeah, not bad. Are all you lawyers that smart? So what about it, smart boy? I was down there trying to photograph Gordy. You got me. So what? That don't change what I saw, does it?
Exactly. What you just used several precious minutes of our time to prove is nothing more than the witness is an idiot who thinks monsters exist.
Hey!
But as she so succinctly said, so what? It changes nothing.
Not true. You were hiding the whole thing about Gordy for some reason. I know it. But what could it have been? Whatever it is, I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Miss Hart, did you hide the fact that you were searching for Gordy from the court? Please, revise your testimony.
Right. Fine, I'll testify. It won't change nothing, though.
Something will change. It has to. And I'm going to spot it.
Actually, I'm not a research student at a university. I'm an investigative photographer. Imagine what a scoop it'd be if I got a picture of that monster. That's why I was camping out by the lake, but that's all I was hiding. When I heard the bang, I looked right straight out at the lake. There wasn't much else to look at, so I just watched that boat the whole time. Then I saw a flash near one of the men's hands, and I heard another gunshot. I was looking right at that boat the whole time, crossed my heart and hoped to fry.
Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Objection! The witness's testimony is unchanged from before. Whether she is a research student or a photographer has no bearing on this case. There's no need to waste more of our time with another pointless cross-examination.
Objection! I claim the defense is right to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Von Karma's up to something. I know it. He doesn't want me to cross-examine her.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. You seem sure of yourself. You must have something in mind.
Ha! That would be a first.
Ha ha, very funny. Just like the gaping hole in your witness's testimony.
You understand that this is your last chance at a cross-examination, Mr. Wright. If there is no problem with the testimony this time, we will let the witness leave and I will announce my verdict at that time, Mr. Wright. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor. However, I don't really need to address any of Miss Hart's statements directly. I simply have one question that I've asked before that I want the real answer to. Miss Hart, were you really looking at that boat?
What's with you? Of course I was looking at it. It was the only thing out there. Any normal person be looking at it.
I agree. Any normal person would. But you are far from normal.
What? Y'all want to step over here and say that?
You were camping at the lake to take pictures of Gordy. Think about it. What would you do if you heard a loud noise? You'd be scanning the lake for any sight of Gordy. That's what. You wouldn't give the boat a second thought.
Order! Continue, Mr. Wright.
You testified that you were watching the boat through binoculars. However, you wouldn't need binoculars to watch that boat. You needed them to search for Gordy. And that's what you were doing. Well?
Well, now that y'all mention it, I did sort of take my binoculars and kind of scan the lake a bit. I mean, Gordy might be out there and all.
Miss Hart, are you saying that you were not watching the boat then?
Sorry, y'all. I wasn't fibbing, really. I thought, I could be a witness to a murder and all. I kind of got excited. I was sure I was watching that boat. Till now.
This is totally uncalled for. You've wasted valuable time and resources.
But hey, you got the photograph. You got proof.
Miss Hart, we can't even see who is shooting who in this photo.
Right. That's why I took this photo when enlarged.
Objection! Witness, that's enough. You've had a long day. Shut your pie hole.
Shut my what?
What was she going to say? She took the photo, and what? Wait a second.
She even had a photograph to prove it.
Right. I saw it too. But you really can't tell from the photo who it is shooting.
Yeah, that's why she said she's gonna enlarge the photo. She said, it'll drop the quality a mite, but should let us see who's who.
She enlarged that photo. And I bet that enlarged photo shows something bad for Von Karma. This is my chance. I have to fight now or I could lose everything. Miss Hart, you enlarged this photo, did you not?
Yeah, I did.
Why has that enlargement not been presented to the court?
Objection! Because it does not exist!
What are y'all talking about? You were the one who told me not to show it in court in the first place, you old fool.
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Von Karma?
Miss Hart, show the photo to the court. Show us the enlargement.
Objection! The prosecution objects to the submission of this evidence.
Objection denied. The witness will show the enlargement to the court.
Here it is.
We still cannot see who is firing in this. It could be the defendant, or maybe it's not. Regardless, I'll accept this as evidence.
Happy now, Mr. Wright. You asked for the enlargement, you got the enlargement, and little good it has done any of us. That is why I requested she not show it.
I suppose this means that the cross-examination is
over, obviously.
Then I would like to close the cross-examination of Miss Lotta Hart.
And none too soon. That was a flagrant waste of my time.
Mr. von Karma, do you have anything to add?
I stated everything I needed to when this trial began. Decisive evidence. A decisive witness. What else could possibly be required?
Nothing, of course. Then I believe it is time for me to declare my verdict.
Wait, it's not supposed to go like this. There has to be a clue in this photo somewhere. Your Honor, there is something decidedly strange with this enlargement.
What might that be, Mr. Wright? You will show the court what you mean. What about this photo is strange?
There! Right there, Your Honor!
The shooter? I'm not sure I understand. What about the shooter is strange?
Look at the hand holding the pistol, Your Honor.
The hand?
The evidence is clear. The man in this photo is holding that pistol in his left hand. However, the prints on the murder weapon were from Edgeworth's right hand. Ergo, the man shooting the pistol in this photo is not Mr. Edgeworth!
Now that everyone in the courtroom has quieted down, I would like to reconvene this court of law. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have given us definitive proof today. We now know that it was not Mr. Edgeworth who fired the pistol that night. However, this leaves us with a rather large problem. If Mr. Edgeworth didn't do it, then who shot our victim?
Precisely. As we've seen, there were no other people on the lake that night. Who but the defendant could have shot the victim?
There is only one explanation remaining. The man who shot the victim was none other than the victim himself.
Order! So, you are saying that the victim committed suicide?
Yes, Your Honor. I can think of no other explanation.
Indeed. That does seem to be the only remaining option.
Objection! I am so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright, but suicide is out of the question. An examination of the victim's wound reveals the distance at which he was shot. The victim was clearly shot from further than a meter away. There is no way it could have been a suicide.
Order! Mr. von Karma, are you sure of the accuracy of your data?
Of course. I'd already considered the possibility of a suicide, you see.
I see. Very well. Allow me to state my opinion. Considering the situation, the shooter had to be the defendant, Mr. Edgeworth. However, the prints on the gun revealed that the shooter was not Mr. Edgeworth. This is a conundrum. Therefore, I would like to suspend proceedings for this trial for the day. The court orders the defense and the prosecution to further investigate this matter. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Ooh, that was a close one. Hey! Don't you have anything to say?
No, I have yet to be declared innocent, right?
Well, yeah, but what happened out there on that lake anyway? If he didn't commit suicide, then who? The shooter was about a meter away too.
What? Don't give me that look. I did not kill him.
I was kidding around. Look, I'm going to go check on Maya.
Oh, right.
What?
Tell her something for me.
What?
Tell her to watch what she says in court. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be happy to hear you say that, Edgeworth. Jerk. I requisitioned a transcript of Lotta's entire testimony. I thought it might give me some ammunition for the trial tomorrow. Of course, she didn't see the shooter, so the only part of her testimony that stood was the timing of the bang she heard.